Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Fuller Kamara. Today we're in chapter 13, working with estimate and purchase orders. Estimate are non-posting transactions that your client can send to their customers, showcasing the cost of products or services. The client can use estimate to track progress of transactions, transfer the detail to purchase orders, and then to invoice to bill for the work. To create an estimate, let's go to QuickBooks Online, navigate to the sales. Then once we're there, we can select all sales. Once we select all sales, select new transaction and then estimate. So we also have another option to go to the estimate. We can also click the plus new, then estimate. So this is the shortest way to go to the estimate. So once we're there, then we can select the customer from the drop down for whom the estimate is being created. So let's say in this case, Amy Bird. Set the estimate date and the expiration. So we have today's date automatically populated here to the estimate date, and then the expiration. We can select whatever dates that we want to put in there. Let's say today. If there are any tags, but we can skip that for now until we go to tags. Enter the job details in the product or service column. So here, let's just say design, and then the quantity here, let's say 3. So 3 at 75, then we get 225 as the total. And then once we're done, we've entered the detail, we can adjust the quantity and the rate. We click save and send. So once we click save and send, we can we'll get this preview where we can see whether we are fine with the detail. If not, we can go back and do some edits. Otherwise, everything looks good for me. Then we can just click send and close. So we got this pop-up because this is a sample company, so the email address is not active. So that's the reason. Let's say if the purchase order was not enabled. In order to enable that function, we can go to the gear icon, account and settings, select expense. You can see purchase order, but in our case this is already on. The slider is already on. You can see you can change this slider to on and off. Then you also have the option to add custom transaction numbers, but we're not gonna do that in this case. So once you finish, you click save and done. So in our case, we can just exit out of this since we already have it on. Using an estimate to create a purchase order. So now let's say from that estimate that we've just created, we want to create a purchase order. Then we can also go to the same sales and then all sales, select the money bar. Once we select the estimate, you can see currently we have an estimate with a status pending of $243. So in order for us to convert this estimate into purchase order, we can click edit. So once we click edit, we can select the customer. So we can find the estimate and then select the customer. So let's say Amy for this case. And then once we've selected the customer, then we can change the status of the estimate. But yeah, in real life, we have to wait until the customer accepts the estimate. Then we can change the status to accept or close or reject it. So in our case, we can just say accept. So once we've accepted the estimate, then we can click save. So once we've saved the estimate, then we can select from this invoice, create invoice, and then we say copy to purchase order. So once we select copy to purchase order, then we can select our vendor. In this case, let's say Brooks Bessie, and then ship to, that is our customer. So once we select ship to our customer, and then we can now add the rate. So since as you can see, the quantity has already been automatically populated, so we can change the rate. Let's say 40 or let's say 50 in our case. So now you can see the total amount is now 150. So once we've updated all the information that we need to update, and then we can click save. So we can click save and send, save and close. So once we've saved and closed, now converting the purchase order to an expense or bill. So in order for us to convert that purchase order to an expense or bill, we go to the expense and then vendors. So once we're there in the vendor, we can see this is the open purchase order that we have here. So we have the option to create a bill or an expense. So let's say in our case, we want to create an expense from the drop down. We can just click create an expense. So once we select create, we have the option to choose the payment method or whatever we choose. But in this case, we can select add. So you can see this is our open purchase order. We can select add, and then it will automatically populate. So we've saved ourselves the hassle. Once we click add, then we can save and close. So that's how you create an expense from a purchase order. Converting an estimate to an invoice. From the left navigation, we select customers. So once we select customer, from the money bar, we can select estimate. So now we can see the open estimate. So once we select estimate, select the correct customer, but in this case we only have one customer. We can look from the action column, which is this, and then we can click start an invoice. So once we click start an invoice, we can see that this is the estimate. Our current open estimate is 243. So we can just click add from here. So once we click add, so you can now see this is the total amount for the invoice, which we selected from this open estimate. So once we done, then we can just click save and send, save and close. So that's how you create an estimate and also create a purchase order and invoices from an estimate. And that's the end of chapter 13, working with estimate and purchase orders. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and share. If you like the video, please like and comment. See you in the next video. Thank you.